Hi, I'm Gina Ventola, practice manager for Ventola Law. One of the best parts of my job is meeting with business owners. However, at times, it can be difficult to meet in person. That's why I started this show, to introduce you to local business owners in our community. Join me on Your Virtual Coffee, a new kind of networking. Hey everyone, welcome to Your Virtual Coffee, the web show that introduces you to great local businesses in the Denver metro area. Today, my guest is my buddy, Jesse Branum, Denver Market Manager at Third Eye Visual. Third Eye Visual was created with the idea that emerging technology within the field of photography and video was not being used to its full potential. With the emergence of VR technology, it is now possible to enjoy such experiences on a personal level. And with that introduction, Jesse, welcome to my show.
It's great to be here, Gina. Thanks for having me today. Thank you so much.
I'm so glad you're here, and I want my audience to get to know you. So let's just kick it off. Are you a Colorado native?
Very good question. And I know there's been a little bit of mystery around this with you and me having so much Alabama roots. And I know we like to kind of pick at each other with Roll Tide and War Eagle and all that stuff. But I want to let you in on a little secret. I like to call my life a Colorado sandwich, with the bread on both sides of my life being Colorado. I'm here currently, and I was born here originally. Yes, can you believe that, right?
I did not know that. That's so awesome that you shared that with me. I mean, that's one thing I like about you. I mean, you root for the wrong college football team, but other than that, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So my dad's, side of the family, they're all from Alabama. So that's definitely where those roots are from. And, but in the 70s, when they were out here, he was getting his master's degree from DU. And they happened to have me out here. So in 1978, boom, Jesse Branum came into the world, born at Swedish Medical Center in Englewood, Colorado, lived in Colorado till I was about 3. So I have a couple of vague impressions of what I thought life was back like. I seem to remember the bus pulling up to our house on Sherman Street. That's about the only thing I can really remember. But as soon as I was 3, moved to Alabama, and that is definitely where my upbringing came from, and spent from 3 to 21 in Alabama. So I like to call myself a Colorado sandwich because it's the bread, but then the meat is a big chunk of Alabama, and we'll put a little bit of maybe onion and lettuce and all that, and that'll represent Montana. And then we'll put a bunch of cheese and condiments and all the stuff, and that'll represent my California days. So when I move, I like to move at least 1,000 miles, So Alabama raised, my family's there, but technically Colorado native. And it's so funny, I have moved back to Englewood, and I can see the hospital I was born from my front yard. So I'm literally back in the hood.
Wow. First of all, I love the visual of the sandwich and how you use that to kind of describe your life.
Yeah.
Now, when you came back out here after living in Alabama until you were 21, did you have an accent?
I never had the strongest accent growing up. I don't know why. Maybe it was growing up in a college town, potentially. And I had a few different friends from different parts of the world. It was, growing up in Auburn was culturally significant to the point that a lot of, my friends were parents that got jobs at the university. So it brought some different people from different parts of the country, different parts of the world. And, I was always kind of artsy and kind of a weirdo. So I wasn't hanging out with Bubba, by the Hardys. I was making art and music with the weirdos. So You know, I've never had the accent super strong. I feel like it's the things I choose to say, not necessarily how they sound. But I'm sure my accent was a lot stronger 20 years ago. But 12 years of living out in Los Angeles, you know, it's gone now. So now I'm somewhere between, you know, country and surfer dude.
I kind of like that. For mine, because I lived in Alabama, I actually am not native to Alabama. I was actually born elsewhere. But so Alabama's kind of the middle of my sandwich too. But it took a while to kind of lose some things and go from saying things like dog to dog. And I have to kind of remember. And if you listen to the intro to my show, I slip. And so you'll hear it. And so I'm telling my, viewers, listen for it. You'll hear my accent in it because I slipped in one word and I didn't want to change it because I'm like, that's who I am.
Yeah.
But I have yet to drop y'all and fixin' to. I'll never stop. I'll never stop doing that. So do you have any words like that if they just come out and you're like, what?
I'm a yaller till the end of time because it's all inclusive. You know, it's both sexes wrapped up in one. It's super friendly. That's one of my favorites. I don't understand the you guys, especially when somebody says that to some girls. I don't get it.
Well, that and we have the difference between y'all and all y'all. All y'all is a big group, but y'all could be one or it could be, more. So
nice.
For my viewers out there, now you've learned some little Southern English.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. So moving on. Go ahead.
Southern accent, jokes are just funnier.
Yeah, Jeff Spoxworthy's made a whole career out of it. So you went to school in Alabama, is that right? I mean, if you were there until you were 21. So correct. What was your favorite subject in school?
Oh, well, I'm going to, cheese out a little bit, and definitely it was music for me. Absolutely.
Because you play in a band. You play in a band now.
Currently, it's like a super, super important, thing that it's kind of my therapy in life. I'm not trying to necessarily make a living off of playing music, but it's something fun that I do that I really get a kick out of. So, when I was a kid, as soon as I started whining about a guitar, when I was, my parents went and got me a crappy acoustic guitar and made sure that I was going to put a few years into that before they got me something loud and obnoxious. But at the same time, my grandfather gave me a saxophone. And so, I did like the concert band and the marching band and that stuff starting in junior high school and then going on into high school doing that. So, I really liked that aspect, of, the camaraderie amongst, fellow band students. But the funny thing was, like, I think it was like going from like maybe 10th grade into 11th grade in in high school, I stopped playing saxophone, which is so funny because that's the moment I started listening to jazz and funk and all this other music that actually had saxophone. But I switched guitar and I joined the jazz band at the high school. And doing jazz band was my most fun memories of any class in high school and in college. Just so much fun. And it was like always an extra place that I could go to spend extra hours when I'd have some free time. So it kind of showed me aspects of being a self-starter, going and working on something by yourself, not because somebody said you had to. And then those aspects have led to me teaching music for years or performing music for years, or even now with Third Eye Visuals, I make, cool royalty-free background music for different people's videos. So I still like to keep all of that rolling in my life.
Jesse, what about videography gets you excited, gets you out of bed in the morning?
Oh yeah, I mean, this is a good question because, I like being passionate about, what I'm going to do in life. So, it's super important. But first of all, as we talk about like what Third Eye does, just for all you viewers out there, yes, some of our end results are video, but we start off by building these formats from still photography. So it starts off with a still image, but when we create movement or when we create auto tours and then we render those out, of course, we end up creating videos from the still photography. So I just always like to, preface with that. We're not showing up with the regular video camera capturing what is going on. So you can see the difference between like if somebody videoed an event versus if I scanned an event. It's a different process, but the end result is, yes, we do render videos from the still photography. So at the end of the day, that is videography as far as making some video content for people. But just like to kind of clarify that, so when people call up asking what we can do, that's just, something that's important. But I'll tell you what, just, being able to bring in this new tech, and just help better connect the world, and especially in a time like this, it's like, we're all kind of in our own bubbles right now, but there's still a huge world out there, and being able to create these spaces, help people tell a story, and then, connecting people together because, everybody's got ideas and sometimes they have a hard time expressing those ideas or getting them out there. So connecting the world, helping clients reach a wider audience, that stuff really excites me. And then at the end of the day, I want to do stuff that's culturally significant. So when I wake up, I want to, think of ways that I can give back to projects that make sense, whether that be art, music, cool, like locations that need to be seen, So I just want to use my technology to help show off aspects of the world that people don't normally see, not just blank buildings. I want to do stuff that gets people fired up and shows what they can do.
Well, what I find that's interesting what you do, and for our viewers, what Jesse's company does that no one else really does is he does those 360 videos, those 360 images, much like your background that you're showing right now. That's an example of it. That's one example of it.
Yeah.
And just, think about the applications in various ways that could be used. So I want to make sure everyone understands when I'm referring to videography here, this is what I'm referring to, not just flat out, creating a video like we're doing right now.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, Jesse, how does Third Eye Visuals work with business owners?
Well,
I mean, you talked about it a little bit, but could you expand on it a little bit?
And how we work with them, and this is something that I feel like, helps us, stand apart with other people that could potentially work is like, first of all, we want to build a relationship with the client. We don't ever want to be a quick buck, we want to continue to like be able to go back to that client or them to feel like they can come to us again. So that's number one thing that, that we like to do with our clients. Another thing we like to do with our clients is to educate them because a lot of people don't really know exactly what we do, but through educating them and then they know what we can do, what value they can add, then that gets their wheels turning too and helps them come up with some ideas for some projects that we can definitely help on. So educating our clients. And giving them a better idea of how they can possibly use our technology. And then by building these relationships, we can understand their goals and visions better, and then help them to, come up with some kind of service that's really going to fit their budget and their needs. So by understanding them more, we can kind of give them a project that makes sense for them. So that's kind of how we like to start working with clients. And, you know, once we get that ball rolling and they feel like they're part of the project too, it really makes a big difference for, you know, continuing to have that client stick with you or to open up new avenues that you never expected.
Speaking of opening new avenues, what is one thing that you would like a potential client to know?
Well, one thing is that we don't show up and do traditional 2D, you know, SLR photography. That is not us. I mean, we could potentially, but I'm not, you know, trying to be that person. There's plenty other great photographers out there, not trying to step on their toes. Definitely, you know, want that to come across. You know, and the immersive spaces that we build, you know, it's important, you know, to know that they're you know, individual pictures, but when we build these immersive spaces, then we can turn them into the videos or the advertisements that you want. And also I want, you know, potential clients and people to know this, just because our stuff looks really cool and fancy doesn't mean that you might not be able to approach us and get something done. You know, when I was talking about getting to know clients and asking questions, that even though we do some pretty mind-blowing stuff, we can fit almost any budget or any idea. So I just want people to know that they don't have to be intimidated to call and ask, because we can probably do something for you. And, you know, we don't want to be no people. So, of course, we have standards and everybody needs to keep their job going, but call us up. We might just have something you didn't think of, or just an easy picture, just something that you can afford that'll make a big difference.
Jesse, let's talk about power partners.
You got it.
Now, for our audience, power partners are those businesses who target the same client as you, but are not your competition. One example would be a real estate agent and a mortgage broker. They both target those future homeowners, but they don't compete with each other. They actually work together and probably do referrals back and forth. So it's a really great way to build businesses. So in order to drill down to who your power partners are, Jesse, let's talk about who is your ideal client.
Well, an ideal client, it could be from, you know, a lot of different industries, but I see an ideal client as like a forward-thinking business owner, somebody that wants to try something new, something different, and make more of an emotional connection to their customers. And I feel that our 3D images really speak to your emotions. So those are the type of people that we're looking for. Now that could be from a multitude of industries, but that's kind of some of the characteristics I see in an ideal client.
What I see is, and I kind of like that you use the phrase forward thinking. I'm thinking forward thinking business owner who wants that grab you visual presence that not everybody has. So with that in mind, I'm thinking people who also, and it's not necessarily business owners, but I'm thinking like event planners.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Because event planners also want those forward thinking business owners. They also want to add value in a visual way as well. I did have real estate agents, because I know you do tours for homes and stuff like that as well, correct?
Yeah, doing a bunch of those. I mean, those definitely help pay the bills. Absolutely. I mean, it's the number one field using the technology is real estate. Do I have dreams of growing it up in a lot more markets? Yes. But absolutely, the real estate is something to be taken seriously, and finding the right agents to work with could make a big difference, you know, between getting 1 or 2 homes or getting 20 or 30 homes.
Well, real estate agents, if you're watching this show, call Jesse, because he does amazing work. And it would be great to list your home and show it in an accurate way, because you'll get to see, your clients will get to see the whole, each room from all angles.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and
realtors call Jesse.
I've been so busy the last few weeks on these projects. It's ridiculous. Like, we're moving towards the trend that every listing is going to want to have this. So right now, still only a tiny percentage of listings out there really have this. So there's a lot of work to be done in covering this. And yes, realtors, if you want to book multiple listings, we are dealing and making some good stuff for you, and can find something to fit your budget. So the more the merrier.
Well, with the more the merrier. What is the best way for those realtors or event planners or anyone else to reach out to you?
Well, I'd like to drive more business through the website. Okay. So, that would be ideal for me. So our website is Third Eye Viz. Now, I just want to clarify a couple of things. We are Third Eye Visuals, but our website is Third Eye Viz. And that is V as in Victor and Z as in zebra, thirdeyeviz.com. So go, and that's, I just want to clarify that so it makes it a little bit easier to find. Go on there, hit the contact button, or go to experience@thirdeyeviz.com. That's how I would love to drive more traffic. And right now, if you go to that, hit the contact or email us, and reference this video right now that you're watching.
Your virtual coffee.
Yeah, your virtual coffee. Reference your virtual coffee, and we'll give you 20% off of a project. But go through the website.
I think that's awesome. And we'll include contact information along with information about who your ideal client is and your power partners. Yes. I always like to do that for my business owners because, that's how we build relationships. Any last thoughts, Jesse?
Well, just like, we're in this game for a lot more than, just the money. We want to help make the world a better place, So I'm just constantly, thankful for people that have helped me out over the years. And, we want to help other people. We want to bring the world closer together. We want to help grow connections. We want to all succeed together in this.
And there you have it, audience. Yeah. Jesse, thank you so much for coming on your virtual coffee today.
Thanks for having me, Gina. I always love getting to see you, and this is a good chance to get to see you right now. This is awesome.
There you go. Yeah. To my audience, thank you for joining us today. We could not do this show without you. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Be sure to contact Jesse, and have a great day.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody.
Your Virtual Coffee is sponsored by Ventola Law. Ventola Law, mediation and legal representation at an expert level. You can find them at ventolalaw.com. Thanks for joining me today. For more information on Your Virtual Coffee, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and wait for it, our website at yourvirtualcoffee.com. Thanks again for watching, and have an incredible day.